Welcome to the CEO of Destiny podcast, where you will find the tools to fulfill the purpose of your generation and wildly succeed in the marketplace. And now your host, Andre J. Benjamin.
So it's good. What about people who you get on the team that are not native to that BAM three happies culture, and they find it difficult and I just want to work. Like, can we just get to the work? This is trivial. Are they a culture fit for what you're talking about?
So here's what's happening in the world is more and more people want to work from home, which I totally get. And more people want to just do the tasks, do the work. I just want to do the work. I don't want to make friends, just want to do the work. Here's the biggest challenge with that. If we move into a task-based economy, that's bad for our whole country.
Absolutely.
Right? Because entrepreneurs will quickly figure out, wait a minute, there are cheaper places in the world where I can just get tasks done, right? What we need is problem solvers and curiosity solved. Another word for that is innovation. Innovation doesn't happen in a vacuum. Innovation doesn't happen with me just sitting at my desk, right? I've got to bring different minded folks together to solve a problem that doesn't really even exist yet. There's no solution to this problem. And I've got to identify the problem and come up with a solution. Hard to do that on a siloed by myself. And so we try to create as much opportunity for people to share, hey, here's my big win. Wow, I could use that in this project. And that's how we start connecting the dots.
So there is a man who coaches entrepreneurs named Dan Sullivan with the Strategic Coach, and he took a term that he didn't make the term, but he just kind of popularized it in regards to unique ability. What would you say that you see is your unique ability, that which you do that others gravitate you towards? You actually create energy when you're engaged in it. What would you say? Because I love the aspect that you kept talking about. I've heard reoccurring that you can continue to talk about that curiosity, that resiliency to problem solve. What would you say is your unique ability?
I think I have the ability to go into somebody's heart and speak to that fourth grader.
Let's go. And
just tell them, man, I get it. I get all your baggage. I get all of it. But you know what? We're going to go do something great together.
Wow.
And yeah, man, I've had the ability to do that for millions of people, and it's just melts my heart.
Come on. And then, so when you talked about running the company now, as the company's going, you're building value, you're sharing that value, people are joining, people are, talk about some of the places that people have went once they engaged with Digital Tutors and they were utilizing its services and they were skilling up, and the importance of people continuing to redefine themselves. That's why I'm asking those digging questions about your origin story, is because I want people who find themselves in a particular situation to not just be defined by that of saying, oh man, here I am, I'm the janitorial service, and I love listening to podcasts, but there's no way that I'll ever. And you're saying, hey, no, actually, you can skill up. Can you talk about those that use Digital Tutors and some of the places they went and some of the careers that they were having?
Absolutely. I mean, we got a chance to not just impact a person, but their family, right? So, these are folks that are dreaming of getting into visual effects, and it doesn't matter if they're a janitor or a barista or working at Walmart, it doesn't matter, right? They've set a goal and say, I'm going to learn some skills to get me in the door, and I'm going to bring value to this organization. It doesn't matter if it's Pixar, it doesn't matter what it is, right? They're going to bring value to that organization. And my job is to help them get there as quick as possible with as least frustration as possible. And so my best compliments are when I get emails that go, man, this was so easy. You got anything more advanced? And I'm like, you have no idea how advanced that is, right? Wow. We just did a good job of making it so easy for you to understand that you're like, oh yeah, I got this, right? Wow. So that's building the confidence. That's building the knowledge base. That's like, yes, you got this, right? I'm not in the business anymore, so I'm happy to share some of these secrets, but any of your listeners who are making content for people, quit saying I'm going to click on this and say we are going to click on this. Right? I'm your guide. I'm just here to help you. Right? Wow. This is your journey. I've been down this road. Let me help walk you through here. But hey, let's pause. Look at this. Did you notice this? This is pretty cool, huh? one of our secrets was, if we make a mistake, we're not going to edit that out, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to make that mistake.
Yes.
And what I really want to teach you is how do I fix this mistake? Because in that process, you're learning how the whole system really works, not just click this, right?
Yes.
I love watching, I'm a big cook, and I love watching, chefs when they cook and they go, oh, I burnt it. Really, you should have checked it 10 minutes ago. And I'm like, oh, note to self, check that bread 10 minutes before I pull it out, right?
You're learning.
Versus, man, every time they do it, it's perfect, and mine's always burnt. I don't understand. You see what I'm saying?
So they get to see, people are more, and this is true, people are, it's funny, some of even because you're talking about in the teaching market, but even those videos that you see, some of those videos that go viral and you're like, this is a horrible, but it's funny and it's human. So we connect with it. Somebody sends it to you and you say, wow, that's crazy. And you're like, they recorded this, but it resonated with people on that human level, that it wasn't perfectly curated and put together. It just was, you'd expect it. And I think that is huge. So when you're now, as you're running, when you were running it, what made you start to see that you wanted to back out of the business and move to a different phase of your life? Because
I got a phone call one day.
One thing. Yeah.
I mean, we got this thing up to $10 million in revenue.
Let's go.
No shareholders,
$54.
$54, man. And I'm selling a $45 product. Let me tell you, it's a lot of hustle to sell a $45 product to get to 10 million.
What were you doing to market, by the way? Because I know
here's a beautiful thing, Andre. No Google AdWords, no Facebook ads. We bought no more. We had a $30,000 a year marketing budget, and that was really just to pop up at trade shows. Our marketing was earned media. So every day, my team would release a blog post, a podcast, an interview. I mean, we were earning the right to have 15 minutes of your time.
Let's go. Because you're giving people value, you keep giving them value.
I just said, man, all I want when they log in the morning, I want 15 minutes of their time.
Wow.
If I can have 15 minutes of their time, I will build the trust to go, look, you can go Google and you can YouTube and you could try to find this answer, but I'll give you the answer right now.
Wow.
Yeah. And organizations really figured it out quickly, because they were like, look, we pay these people a couple $100 an hour, and they're spending half the day on YouTube trying to figure something out. Now we pay you $45 and you'll just tell us right now? Yep. And we had like 30,000 videos in the system. So, and we're releasing hundreds and hundreds a day. So there's just lots of content that we're producing.
How long what was the production? How long did it take to produce the videos, and what was the average length of them?
Well, every single video is under 10 minutes. And so as an adult, having a background in adult learning, a 9.5 minute is the maximum adult attention span. And you have to answer this very simple question. What's in it for me?
It's good.
Right?
WI.
And on top of all of my authors' speakers or monitors, there was a mirror and then a picture of a guy smiling at you. And I was like, look, guys, you got to smile. When you make these videos, you got to smile. There's a mirror to look and see if you're smiling. And here's a guy looking at you smiling. Smile away, right? Big smiles, because people will hear it. They'll feel it. They'll feel that energy of, I got a really happy teacher that's wanting to teach me, not this job, and I just got to get through this video. Some videos, it may take 30 days to produce, a set of videos. And then some, man, they can knock out 50 of them in a day. It just depends on the complexity of the topic.
And then did you formulate?
It was fun though.
Did you formulate a team of editors, or did you outsource that? Because you talked about you had a lot of contractors and whatnot. How did you do? Was that all in-house?
All in-house. Our contractors were also authors, so they were in the field. They just finished working on this movie, and they've got 3 months on help produce content. Production ready. These are some of the challenges I'm dealing with. Obviously, we take out anything that's proprietary to that studio.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we've worked on some crazy projects, man.
So you end up getting a phone call while you're running the company. Things are going well. You took it from $54 investment, incrementally blew up, $30,000 marketing budget. You're running it really nimble and lean, and it's super profitable. So you're at 10 million. annually, what's the phone call? What are they saying to you? What's happening to you at this point?
Phone call said, we're going to buy your company. I was like, who's this? And they're like, no, really, we're going to buy your company. I was like, yeah, hard to buy something not for sale. And they said, no, we're going to buy your company. And 6 weeks later, a company called Pluralsight bought my company, and we exited. I was proud to say that I gave my 42 full-time employees shared $4.5 million as a gift to them.
Let's go.
And it was like, I got to give them a little something for sticking with me and generating this for me. Now, remind you, again, there were many, many days and months when we didn't take a salary, right? There was just,
Absolutely.
It was not enough to feed everybody. And I'm a big believer in Simon Sinek's leaders eat last. So yeah. I'm going to make sure everybody gets fed before I take my piece off the plate. And if there's nothing left, it is what it is. And I'll be honest with you, Andre, my mother taught me that. I would watch my parents who didn't have a lot to eat and not a lot of money. And my mom would cook this, pot of beans, and she would serve everybody. And I watched my mother pick up that pot and put it in the sink. And I realized there was nothing in the pot for her.
Wow.
And A, it broke my heart, but B, it really taught me leaders have to eat last because everybody that trusts you needs to be fed.
Yeah.
And so there were months when we had nothing. And so I wanted to reward my people. So we had them, we shared up 4.5 million with them, and Pluralsight went on to go to NASDAQ, and it closed opening day at $4.3 billion and is now taken back private. I mean, it's just a crazy run, right? Like, yeah. It's crazy.
So can you speak a little bit about, I love the fact that you rewarded people for putting in that time, all that sweat equity, all that culture building, all that. That's beautiful. And that the leaders eat last. What did you know? Because you talked about your parents. I grew up with a blue collar background. My parents worked and did the best that they could. And it exposed me as well to also, like you said, once you start finding yourself in the same patterns that they are, and then saying, all right, well, how can I now begin to be more strategic with my time and with my efforts? And can you talk a little bit about wealth creation and now the value of that, and then how to do that and for yourself that you saw, and then also, versus having a job? I talk about on the podcast, I've talked about your job versus your work. I believe your job is what you do until you find your work. I believe that job is you learning humility, you learning how to solve conflict, you learning how to deal with people, building your emotional intelligence and whatnot. And then your work is that what you're called to do, that you've got this divine calling and it's burning within you, and it keeps you up at night because you get off that 9 to 5, and then that 6 to 9 or 6 to 11, you're pounding it out, and that part-time thing ends up replacing, and you're adding tremendous value. You can never be laid off from it. You can't be fired. You can't be downsized. You will continue on. It might iterate, it might change as you get older, but that idea of retirement is a sucker's game. You don't plan to retire. You plan to just share value in another area. So can you talk about wealth creation and kind of like the value of that and the jobs versus work and whatnot, how that is?
Thank you for listening to today's episode. Do us a favor. If this was useful in any way for you, please go to iTunes and leave us a review. Reviews will allow others to easily discover the podcast. If you'd like more information and to receive a free download, Rediscover Your Destiny, go to ceoofdestiny.com. Thanks again, and tune in next time.